Hey, welcome back, Truth Seekers. Today I want to talk about the Hoover Dam. I didn't expect to do this post so soon, but all of a sudden I have a sense of urgency to do it because I started researching it last night and I started making major connections to this year's the World Series that's going on right now, the 110th World Series. It should be noted that Lake Mead behind Hoover Dam is 110 miles long. A lot of people are saying that on the new $100 bill, this guy right here, when you fold it up, I'm sure you guys have seen the video. I'll link it down in my comments if you haven't seen it, but I don't know how to do the folds myself. I could take the time to learn it, but I haven't. When you fold it up, it looks like the Hoover Dam's erupting. Other people have said it looks like New York City's getting flooded by the Atlantic. It comes from the $20 bill where when you folded it up, it looked just like the World Trade Center's collapsing, and then on the other side, it looked like the Pentagon. And if you've seen those videos, you know how eerily similar it looks. It really does. And when you trace all this stuff back, it does seem to all trace back to the money supply. So it makes sense why this foreshadowing might be truly coded into our money. It's more than a coincidence. So anyway, World Trade Center is 110 stories tall. Lake Mead, 110 miles behind. We're currently in the 110th World Series. That's not it for the World Series. We'll get to it. Let's go through all the facts surrounding the Hoover Dam. So it's named after Herbert Hoover. The gematria of Herbert Hoover is 96. 96 is the sum of the three ranging degrees of Scottish Rite Freemasonry, 31 plus 32 plus 33, that highest degree 33, so significant to 9/11. The name Hoover Dam sums to 47, a very important number in numerology into this nation, which has a 4th of July birthday. On 9/11, it was Building 7 of 47 floors tall that fell. The name Osama bin Laden, who's blamed for the attack, sums to 47. It sums to 110 with the larger method. They can't blame Osama bin Laden if they do anything to the Hoover Dam, right? Unless they say he came back as a zombie. Honestly, you guys, don't you sometimes wonder if maybe they did a story like that? I honestly wonder if in our mainstream media they said that Osama bin Laden returned as a zombie and blew up the Hoover Dam. I wonder how many Americans would actually believe it. I mean, I think more would believe it than you would think. That's how 9/11 still seems to me, guys. It almost seems as likely as that story. It doesn't really seem too much different. Anyhow, the Hoover Dam is also was originally called the Boulder Dam. Boulder Dam sums to 41, just like the acronym USA, just like the word king, just like the words lock and key. Hoover Dam. All right. So it was added to the National Historic Register of Important Places on April 8th, 1981. There's two ways to extract the numerology for that date. One way is 31, like the foundational degree of Scottish Rite Freemasonry. The other way sums to 93, the number of Thelema that represents the planet Saturn. With regards to the World Trade Center, there were the 93 World Trade Center bombings. There was also Flight 93, which had 33 passengers plus 11 crew for a total of 44 people on the plane. The word kill sums to 44 in Gematria. The Hoover Dam was added to the National Historic List of Landmarks on August 20th, 1985. Add that date up, and it sums to 33. 8 plus 2 plus 1 plus 9 plus 8 plus 5 sums to 33. The other way to get that date is 8 plus 20 plus 85, which sums to 113, another very important number to the occult. Near Hoover Dam is Arizona State University. The acronym for ASU is 113. It sits on the 33rd parallel. Flip that around. The acronym USA forms 311. Think about 11s and 3s. 11 times 3 is 33. More 33 in the Hoover Dam. Construction of the actual physical structure began in 1933 on June 6th. That's when the first concrete was poured for the structure. June 6th. In history, 6/6 is known as Doomsday. The word Doomsday has a gematria of 33. Also on that day in history, Robert Kennedy was assassinated by Sirhan Sirhan. Both the names Robert and Kennedy are 33, so the total name is 66, just like Sirhan Sirhan. So think about that. Robert Kennedy, Mr. 66, was assassinated by another 66 on 6/6. Sometimes I wonder if all these people are somewhere living on an island laughing, having all faked their deaths. So that's just the beginning, you guys. The Hoover Dam's between Arizona and Nevada. Look at the gematria of Arizona, you guys. It's the 48th state. The larger method, it sums to 84. United States of America sums to 84 using the smaller method. Think of George Wells' 1984. For the past decade, way before I knew about this gematria practicing coding numbers, it seemed to me like Arizona is an experimental state for the nation at large. Like they go there and they do stuff that seems somewhat absurd, but then they bring it on a national level on maybe a little bit different scale. It's almost like how in marketing they do sample testing with people. It's almost like Arizona's the sample testing state for what they're going to do to us nationally. So Arizona, 8439. That number 39 is so crucial to New York. The abbreviation NY sums to 39. New York with the reduced method sums to 39. The word empire is 39. The date New York was established sums to 39. The United Nations in New York is 39 floors tall. Flip that number around 39, it's 93. Flight 93, 93 World Trade Center bombing. These occult numbers, they show up. And what I'm telling you guys, if you're not getting it yet, is all these markings on the World Trade Center, you can take this knowledge and you can apply it to see what they're going to do next. You start pairing that with the knowledge of what people are showing you on the money. You take what I'm showing you here. You take what they've been foreshadowing in movies. It all starts to come together. So if you're laughing right now and saying, you got to be kidding me, stay tuned because we got a lot more to go. So AZ, the abbreviation, forms 27. That's not a nice number. We know about all the dead rock stars at age 27, but did you know almost all of them have life numbers of 27 too? All right, moving on. The Colorado River Compact was approved on November 24th, 1922. This event's what led up to the eventual construction of the Hoover Dam about a decade later. Without that, there would have been no dam, essentially. I'll show you why that is important in just a second. Got too many pieces of paper here written down. All right. So remember, November 22nd, 1922. Fast forward to November 22nd? November 24th, 1922. Fast forward to November 24th, 2008. That's 86 years. They were building this new bridge. Oh boy, guys, I should be more organized. Apologies. They were building this new bridge. Let's talk about the new bridge first. They were building this new bridge, the Mike O'Callahan / Pat Tillman Bridge. What I should also mention that's not up there is both the names Michael and Patrick both sum to 33 in gematria. But anyway, they go by their shortened names for the bridge. The Mike O'Callahan sums to 114. This is not a nice number. 11, 4, 4, 11, they're associated with assassination. 11 times 4 is 44. The word kill in gematria sums to 44. JFK was once assassinated from 411 Elm Street. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated April 4th, 4-4. The first president to ever die while in office was 4-4. Currently, they're building a 114-mile high-speed track in California. My eyebrows are up on that one. I feel like they already got their planned tragedy for the high-speed train with the 114-mile track. It should also be noted that the bridge cost $114 million to build, is what it said, which actually doesn't sound that expensive to me for that massive bridge, but that's what it says, $114 million. So they got that number in the name and in the amount spent. The name Pat Tillman sums to 11.8. That's a number that's very important to James Madison, who's also obsessed with 39. He published Federalist Paper number 39 on January 18th, 118. 811 in the world is kind of like the original 911. See how they put these numbers on this stuff, you guys? They got numbers. The bridge connects Route 93, which connects the cities of Glendale to Kingman, both having 33 gematrias. It should be noted that this year's coming Super Bowl, which will happen on February 1st, 2015, that's the 32nd day of the year, will be Super Bowl 49. Super Bowl 49. The road project that was all part of this, creating the new bridge and everything, is something called Project 11. Project 11. The word project in gematria sums to 33. Manhattan Project, the word Manhattan also has a gematria of 11. So in a way, Manhattan Project is 1133, just like Project 11, 3311. And I really think that the Manhattan Project, you guys, the whole purpose of it, we saw it on 9/11. I have a post on that. You can go down and read it in my comments. All of the underground nuclear testing ended just months before the 93 World Trade Center bombing. I'm pretty sure at that point they planted the charges that went off in 2001. Anyway, that's another post. I don't want to get off on that right now. So, let's bring it back to this bridge. On November 24th, the 86-year anniversary of the pact, Sherman Jones, the construction worker, is said to have died. Well, the gematria of his name is very curious. Sherman, the way it's spelled, is 33, like the general from Dixie. Dixie also equals 33 in the Civil War. Of the 11 states. You see, you guys, they've been doing it all this time. Our whole history's fake. It's all rigged. It's all a bunch of nonsense. We're just people who don't really want to kill each other. We just want to do the things we want to do. These people just want to keep us on this crazy path. That's the message as we go along here. Anyhow, Sherman Jones, 3318. It sums to 51. The word conspiracy equals 51. Think about the neighboring state, New Mexico, the 47th state in Area 51. I call it conspiracy area. Anyhow, Sherman Jones also turns out to be this person in history that happens to connect to two places really well. San Francisco Giants and Kansas City. Currently, we're in the 110th World Series with the San Francisco Giants and Kansas City. I didn't know this until I started to research this last night. Now it's tripping me out a little bit. Let's look some more. Let's see why it gets trippier. He is said to have, in his career, pitched 110 and a third innings. What World Series are we in, and how long is Lake Mead? How tall were the World Trade Centers? You guys, this might sound so complicated. To me, it's more clear because I've been researching this. Even sports is littered with hoaxes. If you follow baseball, you know about the name Mendoza and the Mendoza line. That man was called up on a date with a numerology of 33. His name sums to 33. All the teams he played for, 3 of them were very curious. I think he was just kind of like a running joke for the managers to laugh at. Like, can you believe we got that guy out on the field? And this guy right here might be another one of them, old Sherman Jones. He didn't play very long, but he appeared in a World Series in '61 against the Yankees. Okay, so he pitched 110 and third innings. What's interesting about baseball, also connecting it to the Hoover Dam, is that the first dam post put up has number 162 on it. I'll be right back. Alright, thanks for that interruption, guys. In my personal life, I'm out here in Washington and started dumping rain past week, and being a homeowner, my roof also started leaking, so that was my guy calling me about fixing my roof. Talk about floods you don't want to deal with. Anyhow, we're talking about number 162 on the original dam post. For those of you who are not baseball fans, 162 is the number of games in a baseball season. Also notice that 162, if you add it up, sums to 9. Numerology of 9. There's so many 9s in baseball. 9 innings, 9 hitters in the batting order, plus a whole lot more. Even MLB has a numerology of 9. All right, so we're talking about sports. We're talking about Hoover Dam. Let's talk a little bit more about Hoover Dam. I want to show you something really incriminating. When I do my web searches, I mean, I'm biased in the way I search. I'll type in what I'm looking for, and right in the web search, I'll type 33, the word. I'll write the number 33. I'll look for other numbers. So I typed in Hoover Dam 33 just to see what would come up. Well, right away, a federal regulation, 33 CFR 162.220, Hoover Dam, Lake Mead, and Lake Mojave came up. Lake Mead and Lake Mojave have the gematria of 34 and 39. Currently, we're in the 34th year anniversary of the Georgia Guidestones, which are on the 34th parallel. 34 is the 9th Fibonacci number. Important numbers, those are the numbers of life. Arizona, again, with the reduced method, sums to 39. The larger method, it was 84. The word federal has a gematria of 33, of course, right? How much sense does that make? This reg was created September 29th. Let's just think about 929. 29 is the first number after 11 with a numerology of 11. So in a way, 929 is a lot like 911. 929, 1977. Multiples of 11 there. The year 77. 9 plus 2 plus 9 plus 1 plus 9 plus 7 sums to 44. Again, the gematria of the word kill is 44. The World Trade Centers were opened April 4th, 1973, 4-4. 5 years to the day of the MLK assassination. He was assassinated in 68, the year World Trade Center construction began. The other way to get the numerology of that date is 9 plus 29 plus 77, which forms 11-5. Might make you think of this phrase, remember the 5th of November. And remember those dates from the beginning I showed you with, I forgot to write it down here. I showed you the dates at the beginning when it got added to the historic register and the historic landmarks, the 31 and the 33 and the 93 and the 113. So it's continual coding. Also, with regards to sports, you guys, I think we got a warning 2 years ago in Super Bowl 47 that maybe something was going to go down again at a big sports event. And let's even go back further in time. The San Francisco Giants in 1989 suffered an earthquake that had everything to do with 33s and 9s, right? Now it's the Kansas City Royals versus the San Francisco Giants in this World Series that has much to do with numerology. So the San Francisco connections there. In Super Bowl 47, the San Francisco 49ers were playing the Baltimore Ravens, and it was the first Super Bowl ever where brothers were the head coaches of both teams. It was Jim versus John. Jim coached the 49ers, who lost their first Super Bowl, becoming 5-1 in Super Bowls. John won. John in gematria sums to 47. He won Super Bowl 47. Also in Super Bowl 47, something else happened. There was a 33-minute blackout. You guys can go look this up. 33 minutes. It was in the third quarter with 13:22 on the clock. Within that number sequence, you can see 322 associated with Yale's Skull and Bones. In the Transformers movie, the number 322 is showing number of days worked. 322 without incident. It shows that, and then it cuts to the dam exploding. In the Dark Knight Rises, the field explodes when teams that look like Steelers versus Ravens are playing just after Section 322 is shown. Anyway, so this 33-minute blackout. The other thing that's interesting about that number 1322 is that if you separate 13 and 22, 1 plus 3 becomes 4, 2 plus 2 becomes 4, creating that 44 again. All right, so to wrap this up, what I would say is the Hoover Dam is marked. Something is going to happen to the Hoover Dam between now and when it happens. It could happen as soon as tonight, but I don't think it's yet. I just don't feel like they've quite reached their moment. I think it's down the road. If you've seen my other blog post, I predicted the date March 15th, 2015. I think something really big is going to happen that day, but that's not to say that something big won't happen before then. So if something does happen during this World Series, it was in the cards. However, I have a feeling this is more foreshadowing towards a future event. If you've seen the movie Oblivion with Tom Cruise and Morgan Freeman, two men who are in a lot of apocalyptic movies, he stands in the middle of MetLife Stadium where Super Bowl 48 was hosted, last year's Super Bowl. And in the movie, he says, "This is the site of the last Super Bowl ever played." And I keep thinking about that because this year's coming Super Bowl is Super Bowl 49. 49 is the number of Revelation, which has to do with the end times. And there is also this history of coding what is coming into movies. So perhaps that dialogue in that scene is telling us what the fate of Super Bowl 49 is. Perhaps the message of Sherman Jones within the Hoover Dam is signifying what the last and final World Series will be. Perhaps we're living through the last World Series right now. Perhaps whoever wins this World Series will be the last World Series champion. I'm expecting the Royals to do it in Game 7, but we'll see. Got a post on that as well. So in total, you guys, what I would take away from this, what's most important is the coded numerology and what they've put into the Hoover Dam signifying what is to come. We can also look at other landmarks in this world and get an idea of what might be marked. Over in Europe, the Eiffel Tower was established on a day with 33 and has all sorts of occult numerology as well. It's also a radio tower. The word radio sums to 47. So there's other landmarks in this world that are marked, and I suspect at some point in this new world order agenda, there might be a very global type of 9/11 day, causing more of a world unity united against terrorism, if you can imagine it. Here in the United States, we've gotten to know what that's all about in the last decade. So anyway, that's the extent of this message. Hope you picked up something new. Looking forward to your feedback. Also, please like and subscribe. Super important.